Hare Krishna everyone, we're continuing to read the Teachings of Lord Kapila, the book by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 18. We have forgotten that we are Krishna's eternal servants, His eternal parts and parcels, and that we have a most intimate relationship with Him. In the material world, we are situated in asat, a non-permanent situation. When a child has lost his father and mother, he's always in a fearful situation, fearful condition. He cries in the street, "Where is my father? Where is my mother?" If we no longer want to be in such a fearful situation, we have to take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna is begging us to come to Him because we are all His sons. He says, quote, "You are rotting here by repeatedly committing sins. You are changing from one body to another, and you are thinking that you are a human being, an American, this or that. The next moment, you may become a dog or an insect." Unquote. People are always thinking that they are secure, but this is called Maya, illusion. Knowledge, jnana, means understanding our relationship with Krishna. A wise man asks, "What is my duty to Krishna?" Once we understand our relationship with Krishna and our duty to Him, we naturally become reluctant to engage in material activities. This is called vairagya, detachment from material activities. Jnana and vairagya can be awakened by bhakti yoga. Bhakti means surrender unto Krishna. Without surrendering to Krishna, we cannot understand our situation. Krishna reserves the right of not being exposed to fools and rascals. He is simply meant for the devotees. We cannot understand Krishna without becoming devotees. Material life means sex. People work hard all day in order to have a little sex at night. In the material world, everyone is suffering from the sharp arrow of Cupid. Madana, Cupid, shoots his arrow into men and women to make them mad after each other, after one another. However, when one actually sees Krishna, he sees Madan Mohan, the charmer of Cupid. Then one is no longer pierced by Cupid's arrow. This means one actually becomes fearless. One can then enter into bhakti yoga and renounce this material world. According to the Shastras, there is Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is the ultimate goal. We should act in such a way that ultimately we will become happy. However, if we want immediate happiness and disregard the future, we want Preyas. Preyas is for unintelligent people and children. A child enjoys playing all day. He does not want to be sent to school to be educated. Education is Shreyas, the ultimate goal. No one is interested in it. The Shastras instruct us to aim for Shreyas and not be captivated by Preyas. The supreme Shreyas is Bhakti Yoga. In the material world, we are struggling for existence with the hope that immediately in the future we will be happy. Yet we are bewildered. An animal in the desert sees a mirage, a shadow of water, and he runs after the shadow again and again. He runs further and further, and in this way, as he crosses the hot sands, he becomes more and more thirsty, and he finally dies. Our struggle for existence is like this. We are thinking, let me go a little further. There will be water eventually. There will eventually be happiness. Yet there is no water in the desert. Those who are unintelligent, who are like animals, seek happiness in the desert of the material world. This false attachment has to be given up by the process of Bhakti Yoga. This must be taken up very seriously, not artificially. Krishna, in all seriousness, wants to see whether one has finished all his material desires. When Krishna sees this, he is very pleased. We are actually busy with dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But when we transcend these, bhakti begins. If we study the history of the world, we see that it is simply a history of struggle. Mankind attempts to relieve its miserable condition, but it simply brings about another miserable condition. As we try to overcome one problem, another problem arises. Our determination to renounce our association with this material world is called mukti. Mukti means coming to the spiritual platform. Since we belong to the spiritual atmosphere, it is impossible for us to be happy in the material atmosphere. If a land animal is placed in water, he will simply struggle for existence, despite being an expert swimmer. We have to come into this material world to gratify our senses, but our attempts will never be successful. If we actually want to attain a state beyond fear, we have to accept this Bhakti Yoga process enunciated by Lord Kapila Deva. Text 44. Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam nishreya sodaya tivrena bhakti yogena manomayarpitam sthiram. Translation. Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means to attain the final perfection of life. Purport. Here the words manomaya arpitam, which mean the mind being fixed on me, are significant. One should fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, or his incarnation. To be fixed steadily in that freedom is the way of liberation. Ambarisha Maharaja is an example. He fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. He spoke only on the pastimes of the Lord. He smelled only the flowers and tulsi offered to the Lord. He walked only to the temple of the Lord. He engaged his hands in cleansing the temple. He engaged his tongue in tasting the foodstuff offered to the Lord. And he engaged his ears in hearing the great pastimes of the Lord. In this way, all his senses were engaged. First of all, the mind should be engaged at the lotus feet of the Lord very steadily and naturally, because the mind is the master of the senses. When the mind is engaged, all senses are engaged. That is Bhakti Yoga. Yoga means controlling the senses. The senses cannot be controlled in the proper sense of the word, of the term. They are always agitated. This is true also with a child. How long can he be... Oh my Govinda. Oh, Hare Krishna. Sorry. It's midnight actually. But I really wanted to read a little bit. Tomorrow is Ultarat and last day of the festival. Yeah. So this is also true with a child. How long can he be forced to sit down silently? It is not possible. Even Arjuna said, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Quote, the mind is always agitated, unquote. The best course is to fix the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Mano mayarpitam sthiram. If one seriously engages in Krishna consciousness, that is the highest perfectional stage. All Krishna conscious activities are on the highest perfectional stage, highest perfectional level of human life. This verse marks the conclusion of Bhakti Yoga, as described by Lord Kapila Deva to his mother. Bhakti Yoga is... We're going to continue tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book, the link is in the description. Please check out our website, shravanamdiaries.com, and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.